Free the dumb, freedom, free the dumb, so that they can speak, yeah. That is in nature, Ellis representing the perfect balance, Strad class, featuring Ras Dada, talking about Bingi, talking about, of course, Yaga, talking about Oka Van Gogh. Yeah, you know, say a good vibration, seeing to elevate the nation, seeing, don't you know, talking about a revolution sound. Keep it locked. Nature Ellis has said that. Zane, perfect balance, Strad class. Do it.
Like, just on our constitution. I never really, I hear the argument, but.
Yeah, man, me check it, me watch it religious, man.
What about?
No, that's the reason about people not really requiring a driver's license.
Do
To drive.
Drive a vehicle.
people not required to drive a vehicle?
That's what I
Where is
say.
that?
Anywhere. Anywhere at all.
I don't
And
understand.
passport,
Anywhere
they
at
don't
all.
need a passport either for travel.
Them no need a passport to travel neither.
Where is it? People don't need it.
No.
That's what the I saying.
We
He's
get this
saying
wrong.
they don't need
We
driver's
get this wrong.
license.
We get this wrong.
True. You could go and buy a car right now on a business name without a license. Somebody else could be the driver, right? You don't have to have a license to actually buy a car. You could buy a car without a license.
If you insure, you're sure and anything.
Yeah.
But even insuring the vehicle again is the next part of it again too. Where you not really require if you have no insurance for your vehicle neither.
We drive around.
Yeah.
You don't require where. So you
Everywhere.
can
That's what
drive
I
a car
tell you.
anywhere.
Everywhere. This is what I tell you. Everywhere. That's what I say to you. Everywhere.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
around.
Mm-hmm.
Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You require for insurance.
Right. They can do that. They can do that.
No, they are
But
going to do that.
then you have to go through the process of fighting for those rights. Because
Which
remember, I
right?
said these are rights. Your right to travel
As a free man.
as a free man.
Mm-hmm.
You have to go through the process now of fighting for that. You get what I say? Using the protocol as we don't talk.
And
But driving a car, a privilege.
It's not a privilege to drive a car, brother.
The privilege.
No, it's not, brother.
It's a privilege. Walking, if you want to walk down on the road, nobody can drive a car, but driving a car is a privilege.
It's not a privilege, brother.
Virgin,
Them use this rhetoric because they want to justify theirs.
nobody have no right to drive no car. They have no right.
Everybody have a right to drive a car, brother.
It's a privilege, brother.
It's not a privilege, brother. Everybody have a right to drive a car. Everybody have the right to do what they want to do, brother. Everybody have the right to do what they want to do.
I have a car fitness. That's when.
JT, Okavango.
that is under the commercial
You see what
law.
you talk about? You see what you talk about? You see what you talk about? What you talk about are the system of them established for we, for oppress we. Seeing? So,
Dada.
brother, you ask something where you don't know about, brother. So you have to listen for ear and know, brother.
Dada, we don't say about them big system because you see them system you talk about them make your road and they provide a road to drive on the car, right? And stop all of the rules them.
And the money what them take from the people do them the things there, brother. And the money what them take from the people do them the things there, brother.
Right.
So what you say? Me not understand what you say. So them take your money. Them take your money to do this. And then on top of that, go tell us, say, oh, you can't do this for the road. What? Your money to take it.
That is under the commercial law. So that is under the commercial law. Under the common law, the Magna Carta, which was established a couple hundred years ago.
Even though you might say that is so under the Magna Carta, there is no jurisdiction.
Yeah, but that is the law of the land. The common law is the law of the land.
But there is no jurisdiction that's really upholding those laws, and why?
So this is what I said to you. Say, Bingy, every jurisdiction has to uphold those laws, right?
Because those laws.
And the reason why I said that, no more tell us that the issue is this, right?
So that's true.
Wait.
Before you go on, I'll give you a two-part. If that is true, why do police officers ask you for a driver's license when it stops you?
Because them them a enforce maritime law.
Yeah.
Them a enforce maritime law. That's what I explain to you, say. Them a operate under
No,
maritime
no,
law.
no, no. Forget that, right? You say that
You can't
wait,
forget
wait.
that,
You
Bingy.
say every
Mm-hmm.
jurisdiction have to uphold
Has
this
to.
law, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying to
Mm-hmm.
you,
Mm-hmm.
if that is true, why do
Mm-hmm.
then police officers ask you for a driver's license if
Because
every
that is what them use to
jurisdiction have
find
to
out the
uphold
truth.
this law?
I'm go
Then they don't uphold any
answer it
law.
again, and that's what the police serve the purpose of enforcing the law,
Right,
right? So you have common law, you have maritime
right.
law, right? So when they come to you and they ask you for a
It's
driver's
under
license, they are
maritime law.
operating under maritime
Right.
law. So because they're operating under maritime law,
Mhm.
them come to you. That is the protocol under maritime law to ask for these things because
But
maritime
but
law
but
are
then
deal
that
with
means everybody fall under maritime law.
no
So if
Yes.
you
everybody.
object,
No.
if you
No.
object to that,
Wait.
if you
Every
object to
police
that, MD,
operating under maritime law, according to the eye,
Mhm,
right?
if you
mhm,
object to
And
that,
mhm,
they actually stopping people who are not
mhm,
operating under that law. Who would that be?
mhm. How,
if you
who would it be?
object
The
to that,
people who
MD,
object to operating under maritime law.
if you object to operating under that law, him can't do nothing to him if you call him superior, who have a better understanding and might know the law more than them. And you can request to them superior and not deal with them.
My lord, let me tell you this. You see all of this is about. Remember the reason why we start with the
Yeah,
reason
man.
about is
Knowing.
knowing,
It's about
knowing,
knowing
knowing. You see, most of the things that happen in the system, them thrive on the ignorance of the
people.
people, right? And that is why you see when them look where the decisions will guide the people are made. They're made in the Senate and the Congress, right? In these what them call the House, right? Where these people what we say are our representatives, them go in, them have these bills, them have these things that them put forward for vote upon and thing, and then all of these things now. At no time, are these things brought to the people, and say, you know, we're thinking of doing this. What do you think? Do you think this is something that you want? Them cut that step out of it altogether, Them sit down and say, okay, say, if me see this as a problem, and if we do this, I think that is a solution. And then put it forward to the house, and all of them vote on it and say, yes, it's a solution. Implement it. But at no time are the people consulted to say, do you want this?
I don't know if that is
Yeah,
necessarily
yeah.
true, right?
These laws, these unknown laws we have to
The common law isn't an unknown law, brother. The common law is a
Is that
common law.
common law?
unknown to me. It's unknown to me. So when we can't find out better.
So may I tell you, you can research common law. Just look up common law, look for your rights under common law. Look for anything under common law. Magna Carta, you can look these things up.
Common law. And every
Mhm.
country have different common law.
To some extent, but pretty much all of the rights are similar everywhere in the world.
And you are saying, all right, let's talk about America, right?
Hmm.
Common law. So in American common law, you have the right to drive a car.
Yes, you do.
It based on, remember say American law, in the laws, them way
Which
I
are
use,
law? Which are law?
is based on statutes and codes.
Under which law what?
Under which common law you have the right
Magna
to
Carta,
drive
Magna Carta, Magna Carta. Me can't spell it.
yeah, man.
Magna
Every law
Carta,
have a
Magna Carta.
common law, but not go fool.
Yeah.
Because all of them, which one of the laws say you can drive a car without a license? I can't find.
That's why I'm trying to find. That's my question all the time, right? Where does it
Hmm.
Yeah,
actually
so
say them, right?
because you come up with it and if the law exists, you must can find that law that they may have how they call it, section
So,
13, this,
so,
whatever them
so,
call it.
so,
Hmm.
so wait,
So,
wait,
so, so
wait,
what
wait.
you're
Hold
talking
on a
about,
second. But,
Okawongo, is
but
maritime law.
wait,
You
wait.
want the
Hold on a
No,
maritime
second.
no,
law.
no, 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 no,
Hold
no,
on
no,
a
no.
second.
It's there somewhere.
Wait.
So find
Do,
the law. Give me
Magna
Yaga,
law.
Carta,
Yaga,
Magna Carta.
Yaga,
Check out the Magna Carta.
Yaga. I did. I did. Wait, I did.
Okay.
Hear this. The U.S. Supreme Court has not ruled that driving without a license is a common law right under the Magna Carta. The court has consistently defined driving as a privilege guaran- granted by the state, not a right. Again, it's a
Mhm.
privilege. Driving.
So
Yeah,
that's
that
no, that's
is.
what they're saying under maritime law.
But
Did he say that?
Then not the
But,
not the
but that
Supreme
is
Court
what
him say,
they're
brother.
talking about.
I Supreme Court him saying
That's the
him say the
only.
Supreme
That's
The
the
Court
when
him
you
say
only
talk
that.
about the
law.
common
the
law,
maritime law, maritime,
Yeah,
ah,
but that is the
ah,
common law of the United States.
exactly.
but that's what we're
Even
talking about.
maritime law, now, after it, like, the sea and everything there, like, if you travel overseas, you
The
see,
maritime law primarily, right, initially was a sea time thing, but when them established capitalism, them
Right,
adapt
right.
the laws from the maritime law and create them as the laws or govern the land as well, because them are deal with commercial activity. Because maritime law primarily are deal with commercial activity.
you know, the maritime law cover the thing.
It was a seafaring law.
Right now, the
It
It
was,
maritime
was
law. The maritime
originally.
yeah.
law, I don't know
You
that.
know, have no lie, Bridge, you know, you lie.
No, man, maritime law, I know a sea cover. Maritime.
But what may I say is this, seeing this is the
Maritime
point I'm
law,
gonna make. When I talk about being ignorant of the things them, right? You
maritime law is
see,
a body of law governing private maritime disputes and nautical issues covering activities like shipping, commerce, navigation, recreation, boating, and navigable water.
Yeah, which is seafaring law. Yeah.
right. So because it cover the commercial side of the thing. And when them switch to capitalism and them want to deal everything on a commercial side, them just implement the same maritime laws to govern the land as well. But what may I say still, what the point I really am making is that we consistently, these people are doing things where strip us of our rights
Mm.
consistently,
No, man,
right?
that, we need to find them thing, yeah, and because if you go try them thing, yeah, people need to know to find them. So we are talking about it. We can find people say, okay, go and find it here, because it's here.
Mm-hmm.
I-
Can't just move on and say, this is the reason why.
Yeah, but
Want
we're
to
not
find
do
it
that.
and
but again, we haven't really, even though we hear these arguments back to it, right, Ras, we haven't met anything to substantiate that, right? And I tell you why. Wait,
So
wait.
what you call
Meaning
substantiation?
something coming down legally saying that you don't have
So when you say legally, what do you
it
mean
passed by
legally?
the courts.
By the
Yep.
court. So this is what may I said to you now. This is what may I said to you, sir. When you say, if the police come to
Mm.
you and stop you, and you say, you not have a driver's license, you not have a driver's license, you not have no insurance, you not have none of them things, right? Them go give you a ticket. You go to court, right? When you go to court, if you don't know the protocol, you will lose the case because you have to deal with the protocol in a particular way for the court go your way. And if you don't do that, because you're already at the outside in the car, you go against the system of law what them are
The
deal with, which
established
is
system.
maritime law. You understand? So you have to make sure that you depend the protocol to know exactly what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it, and when you're supposed to do it. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I say? So if you go into the courts and you don't know that and you don't have that awareness and the fullness over it, then
Yeah,
you
but
will
the right
lose the
to
case.
travel does not
Mm-hmm.
carry the same right to own a vehicle, you know. And owning a vehicle is a privilege, right?
Hold on.
We just discussed that owning a vehicle is a privilege.
No, we didn't discuss it. We said
We
it.
said it.
driving
Yeah.
a
We didn't
no,
discuss it. We
But
said
it
it.
is
driving
a
a
It
privilege.
was said.
Another,
No,
yes,
it's
it is.
not,
vehicle,
Bingy. It's not a
Yes,
privilege. It's not a
driving a
courts
privilege,
have
Bingy.
vehicle
It's
no,
not a
on
privilege,
on the
Bingy.
no.
road,
It,
on the
Bingy.
road,
Bingy.
it is
and
It's
the
a
not
government
a
privilege.
privilege,
is a
Bingy.
privilege.
It's a right.
No, it's not a right.
Not,
No,
not.
no.
There's find the right. So that okay, you are saying
Mm.
it's a right. Find that right somewhere, in some
So
law.
the right
Show it
that it
to us.
falls under, the right that it falls under is your right to
No,
travel,
it does not. It does
No,
right?
not.
How
That
you
is a
no.
travel, how
misstatement.
you
That
travel.
is a
That the
No, it's
right
misstatement.
to
not a
travel doesn't
It
misstatement.
mean
does
you can
not
travel in
exist
anything
under
I
that.
want.
Look, Ras, let me read the right to travel for you, right? Let's read what it say,
Mm-hmm.
right? All
Okay.
right. So
Mm-hmm.
the right to travel
Mm-hmm.
versus the privilege um to drive. U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Constitution protects a right to travel, allowing citizens to
Mm-hmm.
move freely between and within
Mm-hmm.
states. This concept,
Mm-hmm.
affirmed in cases like Crandell versus Nevada, ensures a state cannot confine its resident or bar entry to citizens from other states. The right protects your
Mm-hmm.
ability to relocate, visit, pass through different parts of the country
Mm-hmm.
without unreasonable government interference. This right
Mm-hmm.
to travel does not extend to any specific method of travel. Courts the court have consistently defined driving a motor vehicle on a public road as a privilege granted by the state, not a right. The distinction forms the legal basis for government regulation on roadways
Mm-hmm.
to ensure public safety. Because driving
Mm-hmm.
is a privilege, it is subject to reasonable conditions. To
Mm-hmm.
receive this privilege, individuals must demonstrate competence by passing tests, meet vision standards, and agree to abide by traffic laws. A driver's
Mm-hmm.
license is proof that these conditions have been met.
The
But
privilege is
where
a
in
right
common law does it
Brother,
say that?
All right.
brother,
Let me
because you
let me
have
tell
the
you.
no,
Let me
one,
tell
right
you.
to
one,
travel.
Let me tell
one
you.
on, man.
See,
One, yeah.
under the UN Human Rights, Article 13, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the
Mm-hmm.
right to freedom of movement and residence within borders of each state. Everyone has the right to leave any country, including his own, and return to his country. Seeing under the Magna Carta, which is
Yeah.
CARTAMAGNA 1215, it shall be lawful for any man to leave and return our kingdom safely and securely by land or by water. However, this was not an unlimited or absolute right. It applied mainly to freemen, a small part of the population in medieval England, and excluded those lawfully imprisoned or in wartime. Over the time, the principle has evolved into broader modern rights of movement and citizenship, no longer tied to freemen, a social class, but are individuals under the law.
Again, it doesn't describe the privilege of driving as
Again,
a
nothing to
people.
say,
It says
Yeah,
nothing
but
about the
nothing to say
privilege of
driving
it's
as
not
driving a
gonna.
Bingo.
vehicle. It
and
tells you about
nothing to
But
moving
in
say
them the time, you
around
never really have
the
vehicle driving at them the time, my brother.
exact.
But
All
the
right.
rights of the land, the rights of the
Constitution in
land
Fire.
and
America
freedom
say
of
Fire.
that
movement,
either.
straight.
That's
them the
not
way we are
a
talking about now is under the commercial law.
no. Here
And
then.
the commercial law is designed to make money, is a money making thing that.
We over that.
Yaga, yaga. As
Yeah.
far as I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I say, I know, there is no law that cover land, anything about land, when you're maritime law, and there is no law where say you can drive
Without
without
license.
a driver's license, fly with go to another country, no, not far.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yeah,
no
but you
law for
have
that. So I
international,
am
not
willing to
without a
learn.
passport, you have international
No, yeah, no, no,
passport,
no.
which most
I
countries
am
reject.
willing to learn, right? I am willing to learn. The point with the war, these lads who say these things, where you can find these lads. Is it some man does sit down and does make up some
It ain't
No, but
written.
mind?
check out the
So
Magna
only a
Carta where I
very
tell you, say
bad
the
No,
law
but
Magna
that
it's
can
not
Carta.
land.
written. It's not written. The Magna Carta does
Why
not
not
have
written?
Yeah,
that in
because
there.
The Magna
I'm a
Carta is not
people that
written.
sit down and just
No,
make up
the
in their
Magna
mind.
Carta does not support what the I say
Fire.
it is.
Well, on.
It
You
talks
mercy
about the
now. You
freedom of
mercy.
movement,
Yeah.
but
You mercy
not
now.
Yeah,
You
but we're
life.
mercy.
just
You
talking
mercy.
about one aspect of it.
Yeah, but
You
One
mercy.
also
You
talk about
aspect of
mercy.
it we are
driver's
Well, on.
talking about.
license in them.
Well, on. Pretty, 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 pretty. You mercy. Seeing? This is what mercy today, them. You see, we in a flawed system.
Mhm.
Seeing? We're in a flawed system. And we know that we're in a flawed system because primarily the system is geared against us and geared towards one particular set of
Mhm.
people. Right? Currently is not even a racial thing no more, it's an economic thing, right? Where it geared towards the people, the haves. It's geared towards the haves and not geared towards the have-nots, right? So what may I say today is this. A lot of the rights and freedoms that we have as a people, these laws that have been established, which they aren't really laws anyway, they're statutes and they're what them call it, statutes and
Uh,
codes,
Courts.
right? Right, there's statutes and codes where them implement to operate their commercial enterprise. This is why every state, when you look at every state, you see every state have an incorporated seal,
Yeah.
See
Business.
that, right?
Every
It's a
country.
business, all right? So it's a business, right?
Right.
So what may I say is this. May I say to you, say, these things what we are look upon and consider, I said, these are laws. Or we would, from a common law, understand the term law.
No.
You know what I say, Nabingi? Give me a chance to say what I say. From the point of view where we look upon something, I said, this is a law. How we view that, we're viewing it from a common law, understanding of it. When they talk about laws, they're viewing it from a commercial point of view of it. And that is where the miscommunication is that we're thinking about a law. All right, when a person think about
It
the
don't
law, we're thinking
matter,
about
Ras.
something that
Ras,
is just.
it does not matter, Ras. And I'll tell you why it doesn't
What
matter.
doesn't matter? What
You,
doesn't matter?
what
What
the I'm
doesn't matter?
saying? You're saying like is the
No,
fact of the basis, but the fact of the basis is not that. The fact is that you are required to have a license when operating on a commercial road.
Based on
under
commercial law, yeah. You're on a
commercial
commercial
law.
road.
There is
regarding
other
to
law. You mean there's no other law?
When
Common law is another
there are
law.
other laws that supersede these, man, but
there is
these are
no
the ones
common
that take
law, there is
precedence.
no maritime law where say you can drive without
No,
a driver's
maritime
license.
law
No.
doesn't say that. Under maritime law, you have to have a license. Under maritime law, you have to have a license.
So which other law say otherwise?
Common law, brother.
No, it doesn't.
No, sir.
It doesn't.
Well, all right.
No, it does not.
This is what I say.
Then
This is
you
what
can't
I
be
say.
arguing.
See?
You can say that.
You
Yeah.
can't be arguing. No common law say you can drive without a license on the road.
No common law.
We have to
You
establish
can
that.
find it. You can
No,
find
you
it.
cannot
We talk
establish
about
that because
law,
that
we
is
talk
not
about the law
established.
of the land.
What is established
Huh?
is that common law says you can. That is what is established.
What?
You are
Where
not
is where is
aware
that?
of it.
Where is the law? We say?
Where?
I'm going to tell you, say the law is that you have the freedom and the right to travel. How you choose to travel is your business.
No,
You can choose to
you
walk.
No,
can't
You
say
can
that,
choose
no.
to
Ras. You
see ya?
can.
You
You
have the
It
can't say
right
that.
is
to travel, but some traveling need documents because some traveling is a privilege.
under
You have the right to
under commercial
walk on the
law,
beach.
under maritime law. You require those things. In the common law, you
Ras,
don't.
you
Shut up.
cannot
If you
prove
want to
common
walk
law.
the Texas,
Prove it.
no one can stop you.
Prove
If you want
common
to walk
law.
the
Say
Texas,
again?
no one can stop you. But if you are driving
What do you mean?
Texas,
What do you mean by nobody can stop you if you're walking? The
because it's
common
your right.
under maritime law, they can stop you if you're walking. Under
What am I stopping?
maritime law, them can stop you if you're walking.
Oh, what am I stopping? And what's the charge on start charge? Walking to
Say
Texas.
again? Hmm?
What am I gonna stop you?
What do you mean by that? I don't understand you.
You said I'm gonna stop you, right?
I'm saying they can stop
Oh,
you.
they can.
And I'm talking preventing
Yeah,
you from
they
doing it.
can.
I'm talking stop I mean preventing you. Or what can they
They
prevent you
can
from not
prevent
walking
you.
to Texas?
They can prevent you. 'Cause they
Oh,
can
yes,
detain
so
you.
tell
You
me
can
how.
be detained. You can be placed under arrest. These are means of stopping you. They can
For
stop
for
you.
walking to for doing that? For doing it? For walking to Texas? For saying
Walking
that
to
you're
Texas.
walking to Texas?
No, they're gonna come up with whatever rules them say them want to stop you for, detain you for, arrest you for.
Let's focus on what we're talking about, man. If you're walking to Texas, they can't.
Mhm.
There's nothing to prevent you. No law to prevent you. Say, oh, you cannot walk to Texas. You understand? They can't arrest you for that. Of course, if you're walking to Texas and steal something, they can lock you for stealing something while walking to Texas. But I'm talking
Okay.
specifically walking to Texas. They cannot. There's no law to prevent that from Texas. If you're right in movement, right? Without a license, they could stop you
Privilege.
out of the car and take away the car and let you
Right.
and start to walk the ball rest of the way.
So this is what I'm saying to you, Okavango, right? They will do that under maritime law.
There is
Right.
no such thing.
Yo, you ask a question in daddy.
But there's
You
no
ask
such
a
thing.
question.
Ras, you know why you know what this conversation why it being mute? You're not presenting what we asking for. We said to you say it's on a common
Yeah,
law.
but in any argument, brother,
There's
we not do that in any
nothing that you
argument.
have
So we ask.
there's nothing that you have presented to show that it's on a common law. Not even
I
the
haven't been given a
Magna
chance to
Carta.
say what I'm saying.
Huh?
I'll give
So
it
I'm
minute
saying
chance,
to
brother.
you, my lord, you ask a question, I'm tell you, say, what it is under common law is the right to travel, right? You're telling me, based off of the commercial law, that it is not a right to travel, it's a privilege to travel,
No,
right? And
we
I'm
not
saying to
saying that.
you,
We not saying that.
you just read
No,
it, under the
no.
Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court says it is not a right, it is a
To
privilege,
drive
right?
a motor vehicle,
Right, right. But
not to travel,
in
to
this age,
drive a motor
but
vehicle.
but in this age, the common mode of traveling is by driving,
No,
right?
no,
And I'm saying to you that to drive from one place to another, if you are not in the pursuit of a commercial activity, is not something that is to the constraint of a
brother.
driver's
It
license,
is.
because a driver's license
It is.
is a requirement of a commercial
Strongly
activity.
disagree. It is.
Brother,
Strongly disagree with
brother.
that.
There's a many
Mhm.
mode of traveling, man. It doesn't matter if a motor vehicle is common or whatever. To walk doesn't deserve it. You don't require nothing to walk, so you can and that doesn't and no one can prevent
So
traveling if you're walking,
are you
right?
aware that
Unless
there
you're
have been
walking to
times?
if you're walking cross borders, then you're gonna
Mhm.
need a passport also
Are you
to come
aware?
across
Are you aware? Are you
international
That's
border.
aware?
under the
Are
commercial
you
law,
aware?
brother. That's
Correct.
Are
under the
you
law,
aware?
the statute and
Are you
code that is
aware?
established.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask a question. Are you aware that there have been times, right, where citizens of different countries have been required to have paperwork that will need to be presented in their journey,
All right.
day-to-day journey, regular journey, to show that they are allowed to travel. You're
Yeah,
aware that these things have been
Yeah.
implemented, and you're aware that people still have desires for things like this to return as well. That people would like to see it reach to a point where people have to show paperwork. They can say, okay, yeah, you're supposed to can move from
if
here to
I
there.
am
So, are you?
if I am correct in some of the Middle East, and maybe that Jacob can keep me updated on it. Middle Eastern country, you have things like that where certain individuals cannot travel without certain papers to travel around or move around.
A lot of
I mean, you
countries.
have individuals, even like a woman who cannot drive a car in some countries,
Yeah.
or they need certain papers to move around. We know of them thing there. But so you have country of that. But we talk about the right to travel, which is I'm gonna say let's stick to to like the United States
Domestic travel.
Mm-hmm.
outside.
Mhm.
Huh?
Domestic travel in
Yeah,
your country.
yeah.
Yeah.
In your country.
Within your country. Domestic
You
travel.
can walk anywhere in your country. No one can say that you cannot walk there. Because that's
Mm-hmm.
your right to
Mhm.
move.
No, they can't tell you
But
that you can't travel
once you're
either.
gonna go public, once you're gonna go use public road or public you know what I mean,
Mm-hmm.
transportation on the
Mm-hmm.
public road, you're gonna need a license to operate a vehicle. You're gonna
Under the
need a
laws were established.
you're gonna need a
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but that's all we
And if
dealing
you
with though. We ain't dealing with nothing else.
Yeah,
We only dealing
but
with
when
No,
that
Bully,
are
established
that's
said,
laws.
not all that we're
when that
dealing
are
with.
said, there
That's
are
not
people
all that
who
we're dealing
object
with.
to that. There are people who object to that.
objection, man. That is saying that there are some other
We say
laws
there's
come
law.
there
Yeah,
which say you can do it.
yeah.
Yes.
There's no law.
It's
In a
not really
present,
a
All
law.
right. All right.
in a
It's a
present,
There's no
right.
Again,
It's not
common
really a
law.
law. It's a right.
again,
Because the
again,
laws are
again,
based on statutes and codes, you know.
either the law
again.
mix up the law them, man mix up the law them like what the common law is mean say, but
It is a
common
natural
law
law by
is something
nature.
that
It
people
is a
write
natural
down.
law by nature. It is a natural law by nature. The common law is based off a natural law.
No. So that's the problem.
What's the problem?
The problem is you think the common law is some by nature. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But
I
people
know
sit down
one
and
thing.
write some
It
law.
just need to
Law them
refresh,
we
man.
call common law. The law them we your common law. Why? You know what I mean? If somebody say, okay, this is your common law.
Right.
Yeah.
No. The reason why it described as common law wife is
Mm-hmm.
because under
Under the law.
maritime law,
Under the law.
the under maritime law,
Yeah.
the process of establishing somebody as a wife, it goes through a particular licensing, right? It goes through a particular licensing, right?
Mhm.
So if people who would naturally come together and have a relationship and coexist, right? Uh, who did not go through this protocol of applying for these licenses and seeking these licenses to do this. They were not described as that. So them describe them and say that is under common law. Because under common law, under the natural law, a man could have just take a woman and that would be him
No,
wife.
no. The common law established here is to protect someone. So if you are with someone for 5 years, they will say, okay, you're with this person for 5 years, it's your common law. So this person can, if something happened to you, can claim things as why? Because they're your common law. So they
So
give them that right. It's a right
why are
they
they
give them there.
identified as common law? Why are they
Because
identified as
there
common
are
law?
really requirements for that
Because
thing.
they are not married.
Being with you this for the time.
It no matter for no
They are not
time, brother.
married
It
where
no
they
matter for
sign a
no time.
contract under the
It no
commercial
matter for
law.
no time, brother. It no matter for no time. Once you take a person as your partner, the person is automatically your common law. The only time they
No,
become your wife is when you go through the licensing procedure to make them your wife. So if you don't go through the licensing procedure, they're described as common law. What you're talking about is a statute of limitation, or what them say over a certain period of time, it guarantees them certain rights, quote unquote, where a person who, if you go through the licensing, you already get that legal right immediately. So that's what you're talking about. What we're saying is the reason why you have a category called common law is because they did not go through the commercial maritime admiralty laws. So to
right.
identify
That
that, them describe it as common law. Mm-hmm.
So, and common law is still the system identifying that thing and say, okay, we recognize it union. You know what I mean?
Identifying it. But that doesn't mean it didn't
Because
exist before they
they
identified it.
cannot.
No, they're recognizing it. They're
Because
recognizing this union.
they
Go
cannot
around it.
recognize it
Go
under
the,
the common law because
yet
the common
yet
law takes precedence.
supersede
But
the
then
admiral and commercial law.
how does
The
the
common law
common law
supersede that law.
The common law is
No
based
common law supersede what no
established things, you know. The common law is based on what is established.
Agreed.
That's what we're talking
Agreed.
about. So the common law
Agreed.
also go through legal processes for it to become common law, you know. The idea was that, right? And for example, when we talk about common law of
Mm.
wife, like the ideas Thor spoke about, the
Mm-hmm.
court already determined based on precedents that is what it is. It's unwritten, but based on precedents, hey, that is a common law marriage.
The
You know,
common
common.
law.
It's based on things that already been through the courts and established. That's not written, meaning on precedents, on cases, on different things. It,
To some extent, Bingy.
no, to
To some extent.
the
To
most
some
Dada,
extent.
extent.
The
dada,
reality is, Bingy,
Common.
if you are
that the differentiation between both
Mhm.
is the completion of the protocol of licensing. The differentiation between both is the completion of the process or the protocol of licensing. So the legal marriage go through the process of licensing,
Right.
and the common law does not. That's the
dada,
difference.
me and you know, sir, that's not how it
Mhm.
works.
So are you applying that to driving?
If I'm applying it to
Yeah,
driving,
meaning so now are you making a relation to having a license and not having a license?
mhm,
Common law and commercial law.
then that may I tell you for you. That's what I tell you from the beginning. I say
You,
the reason
You
from
I,
the
have a
beginning.
it
common law
don't
I say
license.
relate. It don't
licensing
relate.
enough. Licensing
You
enough.
have a
It
It
common
don't
law
just
relate.
like,
license.
say again? Hmm?
You have a common law license.
What's the common law license?
So when you get married, that just the license for what is that? The
For
commercial
that
license?
commercial activity.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
it is. Remember say marriage is a commercial activity, you know, brother.
Mhm.
under the law.
Marriage is a commercial activity, you know.
So
Marriage
dada,
is
may I
not
say,
it
common
go
law
it go
license.
that's what
You know,
I explain
me
to you.
don't
Say
know of a
common law.
common law like, but me know
No,
about the
hold on.
international passport.
Let me respond to it. The licensing, right? Under common law, you're not gonna have licensing. And the reason why you're not gonna have licensing under common law is because licenses is primarily a commercial requirement. Under
No,
common law is
may
not
I say,
dealing with commercial.
So when you get
may I say,
married,
just like how you have you have a common law wife, which is not you know what I mean, a legal thing to go through the system,
It's legal.
right?
It's
And you are
legal.
technically your wife are technically together, right? They identify,
Yeah,
you know what I
they
mean,
They
recognize it.
recognize.
acknowledge it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that, you know what I mean, maybe if you're driving for a while without a license, they recognize under the common law say is your common law license.
Yes.
Legally, if you have one of them passports, you're supposed to be able to travel anywhere you want to
Yes,
go.
yeah,
But
travel.
because of the laws that they've established, you have to have certain visa to travel
No,
where you
but
We
want to
go
go.
through these
but
places.
specifically,
But
So you have a
but
world passport, brother.
mm, what
specifically
may I say is this, fire. What
driving,
may I say?
you need a license.
Licensing is a requirement under commercial law,
No.
right? Licensing is a requirement under commercial law. Under common law, you don't require licensing, brother.
All right,
But
then.
then where you drive then, right? Because
I
you're
have a
driving
question.
on
I have a
commercial
question. I
road.
have a question.
You're driving on commercial road.
Hold
So
It's
on.
where
not a
you drive?
commercial road fire. It's not a commercial road fire. It's a public thoroughfare. It's not a commercial road. You have commercial vehicles what use these thoroughfares. You
No,
have
no, no.
commercial
Roads.
activities that occur
Roads are
on these.
classified as
It's not
commercial.
road fire.
Roads.
It's not a commercial road fire.
Roads
It's
are
not a
classified
commercial.
as
It's a public
commercial in America.
thoroughfare
All roads is commercial in America. All roads.
fire. Under
All
for them
roads
commercial
in
law.
America is commercial.
Under their commercial law. Under the
Lads,
commercial
it
law.
don't matter. All roads in
It does
America.
matter.
It
It
does
does matter,
because
Bingy. It
where
does
you
matter.
gonna
It
drive
does
that's
matter.
private, that's non-commercial. Because it's a
Where are you
commercial
gonna drive? That's not.
requirement.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna verify it. You know, say you have roads. What tell us say no commercial vehicles are permitted on these roads.
Yeah. But
You
it don't
have
mean it.
roads that say no commercial vehicles are permitted
There are
on these
lots of roads.
roads.
There are pathways that have that.
Okay,
But
okay.
all
Hold on.
roads are
I have a
commercial.
So
question.
if no commercial vehicle is permitted on it, then that can be identified as a commercial road
It it is.
because
I
if
think
It's
it's
you
a
need that
commercial
commercial
because of
road,
the amount
it's a
of truck.
commercial road. Commercial vehicle have to be allowed on it.
Now, let me pull it up.
Mm-hmm.
So this argument where I say people cannot, people can drive without a license, or people
Mm-hmm.
can fly without a passport. But we are trying to establish, like, what it
This
comes
is
from.
what I've been saying. That what I'm saying is a lot of our rights and freedoms have been stripped from us
Mm,
because of decisions that these people have made allegedly in our or on our behalf. Because we put these people in these places of power, these decision-making
Mhm.
places. They go through the process of putting forth these bills, putting forth these articles or whatever you want to say, and then vote on it and implement it. A lot of the time without even us being aware of it. Sometimes by choice, because sometimes if we only take the time to really tune
Mhm.
into these things and pay keen attention to it, we will know when these things are going. And then if we are privileged or lucky enough or aware enough to know the protocol or the necessary protocol to really stop these things, then we could have do that. But most of the time we don't even know when these things are being implemented. You understand?
Okay.
Like, so what I'm saying, this is the reason what I'm saying. I'm using that as an example to say this is one of the things that they did where they implemented this commercial activity over something that people had as a common law where they could travel from place to place. Them go in and implement this commercial activity on it, right? And everybody accept it,
right.
right? Everybody
So,
accept it.
but in everything you have, like things you have maybe good and bad, right?
You have good and
So,
bad.
would you say them taking this upon them head to require everyone to have a life, right? When you're driving, right? They require that them, I just said, them commercial. Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing.
Explain.
The reason why I think it's a bad thing is because by that simple act of licensing, right? That simple act of licensing, what that does, it places the licensee, the person who get the license, right, under the the term what them use is the Bingy just said the term, the like the area that it is responsible for, their jurisdiction, under the jurisdiction of these laws or codes or statutes when they've established to govern this system. So them create this system and say, okay, in order for you to participate in this season, you need this license. Once you get this license, it automatically places you under the jurisdiction of these codes. So that's why them can stop you. Once you drive a vehicle, them can stop you at any time, and them can implement a penalty for your breach in any one of those
Statutes.
And you are saying,
statutes
and
or
you are saying it's
codes.
about, and you are
I'm
saying it's
saying
about,
it's a bad thing. I'm saying it's a bad thing.
And it
but,
restrict people who
but
can
because,
afford to get a license also.
Still,
what on the other. So, because they can stop you, it's a bad thing.
Mm. No. The reason why it's a bad thing is because of they're forcing you into a commercial activity where you will never have a choice into.
right.
They might force you into a commercial activity. So remember saying that when
So
them give
you're
you a
right.
ticket,
You're right.
it's
You're
it's
right.
it's
Yeah.
a right.
It's a
It's
violation of
a
the right.
it's a yes, it's a commercial activity now because you have to take up money now to pay these fines,
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Like, all right, for example now, right? For example, when you look on something like these fines, right, where you get from a traffic offense scene, most of those fines go towards paying the courts, paying the town people. So what them a do? Them a try to generate that next tax out of the people. So them find a way of doing it by using your traveling from one place to the other, putting it now from a common law or a common right in under a commercial privilege. So that is the shift what they make when them do that. So this is what I
So
said today. I say,
so you believe that everyone should be driving on the road without any rules of it.
no, I don't believe that
But
because
without a license, that's what's gonna happen, right?
no, that's not what I believe. What I believe is that having a driver's license is a requirement for people who are participating in a commercial activity. So if you are participating in a commercial activity, i.e., you drive a truck or you drive a vehicle that is dealing with business,
Commercial.
that's it, right.
Commercial.
So those people that deal with those things it's fair to put those people under the commercial law because they are practicing a commercial activity. But for a person who is just moving from one place to
Private,
another,
right?
right,
Yes.
a
So
private person,
let's talk
they
about the
don't have a
private.
requirement for that.
Let's talk about the private.
Mhm.
So you think that private people should be on the road, right, without any rules of engagement?
But that doesn't take away
Under
from the
under
rule
the
of
common law,
engagement.
there are rules of engagement. Under the common law, there are rules of engagement. Because we're saying it's under
To
the
drive a
common law,
vehicle,
because we're
to
saying
drive a vehicle.
because we're saying it's under the common law.
To
And
travel.
because we're saying it's under the common law, because we're saying that under the common law you don't require a driver's license legally, right? It doesn't mean that there are no rules of engagement when you're traveling on the road. There are rules of engagement under the common law. Under the common law, if one
We are
person
those
is
rules.
going
Well,
one
why
direction on
would
What are
one
they?
those
side
rules?
of the road,
What are those
if
rules?
one,
We are those.
well, explain what I say. So I'm saying under common law, if one person is going on the road, along the road, in a one direction on one side of the road, under the common law, the other person going the opposite way would use the opposite side of the road. Whichever way them decide to do in a that place. Because some people will go left, some people go right. You understand? So under common law, these things established.
Right.
Because it obviously, if the two are not go opposite ways, you can't use the same side of the road. So under common law, these are things were established.
But on a common law, that,
What is that?
Yeah.
that is the law. The law of
No,
the improvement of
this
the
is
road.
what is
Common
established from.
sense.
Remember, I said common law established before this, brother. Common law exists before this. Common law exists before maritime,
Okay.
commercial law, all of
So
these things.
all right. On speed limit.
Speed limit. Where's about speed limit now?
Yeah, because I mean,
Speed limit is a
look at the
next
license.
implementation. Speed limit is a next implementation of taxing the people again. You understand? Because pre this, I'll show you a simple example, right? Originally, well, back in the days, a couple years ago, the speed limit was 30, right? Was 30. Correct?
It depends on where it is. In a
Depends
No,
on
I'm
where you
correct.
saying,
are.
I'm saying like in the
Like we saw in
residential
long time ago,
areas,
on the weekend, I want to.
the speed limit used to be 30.
Right.
in residential areas.
Oh, yeah,
Right? A
25.
couple years ago, them revisit it and say, oh, we're not getting enough ticket from at 30. So what we go do, we go drop
25,
the
yeah.
speed limit to 25. So we go have more people what they breach now the speed limit of this
So,
5 mile per
so
hour.
the speed limit,
Also, if
so the
there
speed
are
limit is only
accidents,
to get ticket.
if there are
There's,
accidents in certain spots, they will review the speed limit also and probably reduce it in certain areas. So you'll
yeah.
notice that the speed limit is reduced in
And
some areas
like
based
school,
on
and like schools and them things as well. If you have a school area, then we drop the speed limit as well.
Yaga,
Mm.
yeah.
understand what that is. So make him talk.
All right.
The
Okay,
speed
Pango, if
limit,
you
you
ask
have
you to
to,
tell me about the laws and where you asked that about now, where to find them, could you tell me where to find them?
yeah man, we can look.
Yeah, we can look up and find them. Him can look up and find them too. So stop pressing to tell you which are to find the law then.
Him can't find them because they don't exist.
Them tell them man. Them tell them man.
You think
I
they
just
don't
you never go
exist?
and doing research before you
They
come
not
talk about it
exist.
and
No,
all.
no.
They're
Well, I
not
know. Me
there.
do my
They're not
research for
there.
you. Me do my research for you. Me do my research
They're
for you.
not
But
there.
what I am saying
Hold
is
on, man.
They're
this.
Hold
not
on,
written.
man.
Brother,
Hold on,
check out the Magna
hold
Carta.
on.
They're not
Yaga,
written.
Check out the Magna
hold on,
Carta.
Yaga.
Until we check out the
What
Magna
I'm telling
Carta.
you, that
They're not written.
what I'm telling you, that explain now, it does not exist.
It's not written.
I just want to know where his mind is right now because it doesn't exist.
What? What doesn't exist?
They
Without
don't
license.
exist for you. They don't
It
exist for
doesn't
you.
exist.
There are many cases. There are
Brother,
many
if it
cases.
Me just
exists,
share
you
some
can tell
video.
you
Me just share
we are
some
in
video in
information here.
I WhatsApp group. Me just share some video about the same things them we are talk about in the WhatsApp group. Where people,
There are many cases. There are many cases,
yeah,
right?
there
There
are
are
loads
many
of
cases,
cases, man. There are
multiple
loads of
cases
cases.
where people, right, who are enacting this right, right, have been and have encountered police interactions, right? Two outcomes. One, the police was aware of these common law rights and allowed them to keep
Or
traveling.
another way.
Two, they were not aware and them decided to go the commercial route
Right.
of it. Now, these people, when them go the commercial route of it and them go to the law, two things again. Some of them were not aware of the necessary protocols what them supposed to cut through in the cases and them lose the cases. And then there are others who were aware of what was supposed to be done and did what was supposed to be done and win the case. So this is why from the beginning, Mr. T say, first of all, you have to understand that if you go take up this struggle, which I'm not telling anyone to take up this struggle. What I am saying is I'm using this as a means of identifying that a lot of our rights have been
Right.
stripped from us,
But I don't think this
right?
is a
A lot of our rights have
good
been stripped
example.
from us. And
From your birth
say again?
registry. From your birth
Hmm?
registry, that's where
All right.
the things
All right.
start go
It's
pear
start.
shape.
It's start. Mm-hmm.
Is it,
So
me not like,
mhm.
me not like talking point where you can't find substantial evidence.
I know so you
Right,
can't
then
find
things are-
evidence. The evidence is
Yeah, man,
there if you want to look for it.
we can't just come, can't just come from here and just come talk. You need, if you come in here,
But that's
come
what
here
you're
with
doing,
evidence of these
Okavango.
things. Because now
Okavango,
everything is
you're
up in
doing
the
that.
air.
That's what you are
Everything is up in
doing.
the air.
You are
You need
talking
evidence of these things
when
because
you're going to
remember,
say, so where is the evidence that
Brother,
driving a car is a
I'm finished that.
privilege? Where is the
I'm finished that
evidence
now.
of
It
that?
says
I'm
it.
finished that.
Where is
I
the
read it.
evidence that driving a car is
I
a
read
I'm
it.
privilege?
finished that,
So
huh?
isn't that what
Yeah, but
somebody else
that
said?
is under the
Isn't that what
commercial
somebody
law,
Yeah,
else
but
said?
at
Biggie, which we
least
are
that
saying.
could be found. That could be
Yeah, because
found.
Dingy,
it is
dingy,
the
dingy.
commercial law.
Yeah,
That is the
but
whole
that could be
purpose of a
found.
commercial law.
But the I talking about cannot be found. And that
No,
is my
not that it cannot be
problem.
found. It's that the item don't know about it. The item don't know about it.
No.
And we probably we
And
can
Why?
No.
Why?
explanation.
If you
Why?
speak about it, it could be
know about
found.
it. So present us with it.
No, but
Present us
as me I say, all right,
Hold on. We are get everyone to talk over each other. So we are miss the
all
reasoning.
right. May
Yeah,
I
All
show
right,
man.
you a
Yaga
thing.
and then
See,
Okavango.
my
Mm-hmm.
license is due for renewal. I may have a fine for about, from the pandemic, may have a fine for about equivalent of £1,000. But me have time in which to pay it. But me, I ignore it for so long till my license need renewing. I can't renew my license until I pay the fine. I have to pay the fine
Mm-hmm.
before my license renewed.
Can be renewed. Mm-hmm.
You see what I say?
Mm-hmm.
So, under them law, them allow me to move about and do what I do. But when this point come, If me no pay the fine, they buy the point then.
You can get like
Or
You
you have a
can't get your
fine for your
license back.
vehicle, or you have some points for your vehicle, or a ticket for your vehicle you need to pay. You can't renew it until you pay them fine, no matter how much it is or how small it is. You have to get into an arrangement with them and get it
Mhm.
sorted out. Which way I say all of them things that is under the commercial law, which we all know about. Everybody know about them or something. Like. But not a lot of people know about the sovereign man who are travel on the land, who object to all of these fines that are being imposed on them through the law and challenge them. A lot of people challenge them.
A lot of people challenge them.
Whether
When
me
you
share
when you
some
say they
video,
challenge them,
me share some video in the
Well,
group.
no.
So after the reasoning, the item can look at the video them and check them out.
Okay. But I'm saying, so you are telling me that you have people driving, right? And when we get pulled over, they tell them about this common law.
yes,
And the police say that,
yes.
all right, go.
Some police, yeah, who know
a
about it.
50-50.
You know about what?
But this is what I'm saying. So this is
That
why me I
50
said to you,
About the
say,
50.
Bingy,
common law.
this is what me I said to you, say, this is why me I said to you, say, this is why I said to the I say, you know, that this fight to deal with this in order to regain this right of travel, right, is a fight. So if you are willing, if that is the fight where you want to take up a fight, then that's the fight you want to take up a fight. You understand? But there are many other rights that have been stripped from us outside of even the right to travel without requirement of licensing or commercial requirement.
Ralph,
You see
I
me?
agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
The right to travel is a
Mm-hmm.
right. The
Mm-hmm.
privilege to drive is not a right, it is a privilege. That is
Under
where
commercial
we
law.
we we we, we differ.
All right.
There's
We
no other law,
differ
But what I'm
because
saying,
that is not a
there is
right.
no commercial law.
Why do you think
Dada.
them
You are
ask for your
saying,
name?
you are
Why do you think them
saying,
ask you to confirm
uh,
your name when you're going to the court?
Part of your identity process. They identify.
Under which law? Under which law?
Maritime and
What?
Admiral.
I mean, that's fine, but what we talking about is not the same thing driving as a privilege. That is not a privilege. You could
That is
call me,
under the
you could
commercial
call
It's
me
law, brother. We
another,
whatever you
it's
agree to
want
another,
that.
it's
under,
another, it's another,
you
it's
could, I
another
could call myself
extension
whatever I
of
want
the
to call
different.
myself. I have the right, me as a human being.
No, Bingy,
yeah,
Bingy,
But
Bingy,
a
and name
Bingy.
you want
privilege is
name.
something
No, but
different.
why am I explain to the I say is that under the commercial law, under the common law, right? In order for you come under the jurisdiction of the court, you have to be under that registered
Who you
name.
are on
So
your birth paper.
if them have a case against you, let's say John Brown, them have a case against a John Brown, and you're registered as John Brown. You have a driver's license under the name John
Right.
Brown, right? If you come in at the court and you don't acknowledge the identity of a John Brown, them can't proceed with that against
They'll
you.
proceed. They'll still proceed. You know what they'll put?
Mm-hmm.
They'll put this man, so and so, John Brown has today denied his identity, wherever, and they'll move on with it. They'll process it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll
Mm-hmm.
process it based on your legal identification.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're not talking about
yeah.
harass. That's
Like you cannot go
semantics
into,
in a
you,
court.
you can, you
Mm-hmm.
can,
You show
you
up in
can
a
commit.
court and you're a wanted man. Oh,
Those
I
are
have
under the
the
commercial
Yeah,
identity.
law.
I's not
yeah.
wrong,
She
but
said the
wrong,
name.
man. No,
Mm-hmm.
that's something completely different. We talking about a
Brethren,
privilege and a right. Driving is not a right. It is a privilege. In any
it's a
state, it
privilege.
is a
Traveling,
privilege.
traveling is alright.
Traveling is a
And
right. Correct.
Traveling is alright.
Traveling is
until
a
you can
right. Correct.
prepare this law,
So
law
so
thing.
Correct.
so so where is it? Your right to travel is limited to your feet.
That is the only thing that's protected. Your feet
So
is
you're
your
saying
carriage.
traveling, right, is limited to the feet,
Yes.
right? So your freedom to travel is only as far as you can walk to.
Any way you want. Walk
Yeah.
anywhere you want.
Well, anyone you want to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anywhere.
In the
Okay.
boundaries
Yeah,
of a state. Because
Mm.
once you cross in state part of it, you can pass.
everything else is a privilege, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So which supersede which? Your right or the privilege?
You're right.
Your right superseded, right?
Yes.
So you're
Yes.
telling me
You're
that I
right.
have a desire to travel further than I can walk, and I have
Well,
access to
then
a
you're going
motor
into
vehicle which can
privilege.
carry me. Well, I know, brother. Well, I know. You're telling me I have a desire to travel as a free man, to somewhere further than I can
Don't
walk,
go.
and I have access to a motor
Don't go.
vehicle, I have access to a motor
Don't
vehicle
go.
There's
which
no
can
such
carry me
thing.
to that place, right? So
There's
you're
no
saying
such
me that
there's
that
no such place.
privilege
Don't go.
supersede my right to do it.
Don't go.
Hmm?
There's
That
no such place.
Don't
There is
go.
no place you can walk to.
Don't go.
where you can walk to, where you cannot walk to, but there are places where other people cannot walk to.
All right. They don't go.
Yeah,
Why?
that's
If you
where
cannot
I don't
go
know.
there, you don't go.
You can walk
You
to them.
don't go.
Hmm? You
Yeah,
don't
you
go.
don't
You
Okay.
go.
feel like you can't walk, you still
Well,
yeah,
what may I
go.
say for you? This. You see, I think we are get caught up on this
No. I think,
driver's
Ras,
license
if you're
thing.
presenting
Mm-hmm.
information as factual, right,
Mm-hmm.
it has to be
Mm-hmm.
substantiated
Yes, man.
somehow or the
Mm-hmm.
other, right? What the
Mm-hmm.
I is presenting is not a right because we're talking about rights now, right? Forget the whole.
According to your
No,
overstanding.
we're talking about rights.
Yes,
No.
according
You
to your
you
overstanding. So
said
what
you
I'm saying, Biggie.
highlighting people losing their
Mm-hmm.
rights. The I say that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
So we
Right.
talking about people
See.
rights, right? We talking about rights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm saying if
Right.
you're going to present something as a right, then you
Mm-hmm.
must establish that it is a right. Driving is
Mm-hmm.
not a right. That's what I'm saying. And
And that
if
and
you
again I'm going to say that under
presenting that as a
commercial law
right,
they
that cannot
establish
be a
that, but
right.
it is a right for you to
No
travel, and
one.
you can travel by any means that you wish to travel. And
Nothing
that
say
is
that.
your right.
Nothing say that.
That
Nothing
is
say
your
that.
right. So
Nothing
what
can
I'm
say that.
saying, so this is what
What
may I
law
say
say that?
for you. Every law say that.
No
No, you have
law
the
say
right to travel,
you
but
have
by
the
the
driver, you have the
means.
right to drive. You can't travel, you cannot be
Mm,
the driver.
mm. Again, driving is a commercial term.
What?
Driving is a commercial term.
What's it again?
Driving is a commercial term.
All right.
Dada, I don't really understand where you're going. But I'm saying if you are driving, you got to drive a car, you need a license to drive. Because
Agreed,
driving
because
a
driving
car
is a commercial
in
term.
country that I know is a privilege. Right? Yes,
Okay.
you can
Driving is a
drive in the country
commercial
of a
term.
car. Huh?
Driving is a commercial term. So if you're driving a car, you need a driver's
So what
license.
you do in your car?
Because
If you
driving
operate
So
is
a car,
legally a commercial
it's the
term.
same
and
thing.
this mean what?
It means that driving is a commercial activity, and as a commercial activity, you require a license to do
So what you'll
perform a
be doing in
commercial
that car
activity.
other than
So
driving?
you're traveling.
So if you're operating,
That's a commercial activity as well.
so you're traveling in a car. So when you sit behind
Yes.
a driver's in a car and you hold a steering wheel, you
Mm,
start the car.
mhm,
You're
mhm.
traveling, but you're not driving.
Yeah,
You're
you're
not
traveling.
driving.
Under the common
Wait.
law, we're
All right, you're
traveling.
traveling, but
Under
you're not
commercial law,
driving.
you're
But
driving.
you're not driving.
Mm? No, you're
Oh,
traveling.
oh.
Because we're
So you're
not in the
traveling.
Oh, you're
pursuit of a
traveling.
commercial
Are you
activity.
traveling? All
We're
right.
traveling. Mhm.
Okay. So you're on this field and we're not
Now we're
driving, traveling.
traveling. We're traveling, yes. Mhm,
So wait,
And
wait, wait. I have this question for the eye.
mhm.
Define traveling.
Is a immutable right of a person to move from one place to another.
Guys, what traveling is?
that's the definition?
Yeah, my definition of what I say.
No man. Dada.
No.
The
Define
immutable
traveling.
right of a person to move from one place to another.
Dada, we are talking about law. You can't give your definition. Just your definition. What you want to see.
All right. So you want legal definition of traveling?
Yeah.
In legal terms, traveling is not a single definition, but often refers to the fundamental right to travel, a constitutionally protected freedom allowing citizens to move freely across state. This right is broken into three key components: the freedom to enter and leave any state, the right to be treated as a welcome guest in other states, and the right of new residents to receive the same treatment as other citizens of that state. In a more general sense, traveling can also refer to a voluntary distant change of location or simply moving from one place to another.
All right. But it doesn't
Mhm.
mention the mood, right? It doesn't mention a car.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
It doesn't.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Again, that is moving from one place to the other.
Mhm.
Now we have a car. You sit down in that
Mhm.
car, you start the car, you
Mhm.
hold on to the steering.
Mhm.
What is that called? Traveling? Or is that specific weight to that thing that you're now in and going to move from place to place with? Because you say the term driving Is a commercial
It's a
link,
commercial
right? If
expression,
I in a
yes.
plane and or driving or doing something else, if I on a boat or doing something else, basically, but it's the same thing, right? It's even though, but
It's
yeah,
traveling.
it's
It's
traveling.
traveling.
But so there must be a
Mm-hmm.
name for you sitting behind the steering wheel and moving,
Why must there be a
eh?
name? Why must there be a name?
Because it's
Why must there be a
established.
name?
Driving is the
No, I'm
established
saying,
term.
why must there be a name?
Because you must,
Because
because
somebody established
if
something to
I'm
say when you're
speaking to
doing
you
this.
about me
Mm-hmm.
driving to somewhere, and I will use the term driving to somewhere, you already know that I am operating this vehicle. If I tell you I
Mm-hmm.
am traveling somewhere, we I, tra- if you tell a man you're traveling somewhere, you know what you're gonna think? Boy,
Mm-hmm.
either you're being driven or you're flying
Mm-hmm.
somewhere, or he not thinking you actually in operation of the vehicle, right?
If you're traveling, people need a mode of transportation, and that's where the law comes in.
Yeah.
Mode of transportation. So you could be
Mm-hmm.
traveling on your feet. You don't need a license for that. But traveling on a boat, you need a
You need
boat
a
license.
license.
On a plane, if you're flying the plane, you need a pilot license. If you're driving
Mm-hmm.
a car, you need a driver. You understand? You have those things in place, and it is to protect. You know what I mean? Individuals. It's not just commercial because
How does it
a man
protect
don't have a license
individuals?
and
How
go on the
does
road
having
and
a driver's
take
license protect individuals?
huh?
How does having a driver's license protect individuals?
So on the road you have
Insurance.
laws that protect you on the road, like
Mm-hmm.
speeding. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because speed and go kill off people.
So
The
so
rules on the
you have to have a driver's license to adhere to the speed limit?
No.
a driver's license. When you establish a
Mm-hmm.
driver's license, it shows that you understand the rules on the
Mm-hmm.
road and you can follow
Mm-hmm.
the rules on the road. And if you even go on the road and don't follow them,
Mm-hmm.
when you have the license, it can be taken away because you weren't doing what you say you can do a driver's license. You prove that you can do a driver's license.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you that having a driver's license doesn't protect anyone.
No. A driver's license proves that you
Hmm.
can follow these rules.
Right, but you're saying that it protects you, but
Of
I'm
course,
saying
you
it
can
doesn't
still go and
protect
not follow
anyone.
them, which can
Hmm?
end up in you losing that privilege of life.
That's, I think, a
Hmm.
lot of there
So
are people who do win cases like that in certain circumstances, but that's the exception to the rule. I think what the I saying is not really an attack on your right. Attack on your right now is freedom of speech. That you're right?
are the same thing again,
In a
Yeah.
Bingy. It's just a
Freedom
further
of
dispensation,
speech is
extension of
an
it,
attack on
Bingy.
your right? But
in
Bingy,
a
Bingy, Bingy.
dispensation of
It's
no,
a
time,
no, no,
one
no,
of
no,
further
them
no.
the right
But
to
extension of
know
the
that.
same
but
thing.
even freedom
It's
of
a further
speech has
extension of
its
the same thing,
limitation on
Bingy.
what has been established as freedom of speech, right? Because we know in the exemptions to freedom of speech, right? Which mean we're not gonna incite a riot. We're not gonna talk about killing unaliving people. We're not gonna. There are certain limitations, right? But it's established what freedom of speech is, right? We
Yeah,
could protest peacefully.
but not
We can
even to
speak
that
against the
extreme, Bingy.
government without government interaction. We know what that is, but what the I talking about, we are right versus our privilege is two completely different things. And I think that is the problem when you say you don't need a
Bingy,
license.
Bingy, you make mention of freedom of speech, right? And what I'm saying to you that the restrictions that we see even being placed on our right to free speech, right, is a further extension of these things again. You understand? Is a further extension of it. But what happens is this, right? It seems logical for us to say if you are driving a vehicle, it's only reasonable for you to have a driver's license. It seems very reasonable to say that, right? Because this is how we were cultured. This is how we were trained. We were socialized to this
No,
awareness,
it's the
right?
system we
So
live
when
in.
someone comes, right? So when someone comes and says, "Oh, but in reality, you don't need a driver's license because you're not performing a commercial activity. You're just traveling." That seems like chaotic. It seems like something that this are foolishness. You understand? That's how it seems. But what I'm saying is that this came about in a similar manner where they eroded our rights to travel by whatever mode we want to travel. You understand? They eroded this right and did it and put us under this jurisdiction of these codes and laws and subject to penalties and fines, right? Without our having a say so in it. And similarly, now they're attacking now the right to free speech. So what their purpose is to gradually and consistently rid us and strip us of our rights as a people, as free people. And that's what we're talking about. You understand? So we use the example of the driver's license to show that, okay, here is an example of where they have done that, right? And we're saying now that with the attack on free speech, this is another example of where they're doing that. So this is
Brother,
what I'm saying.
Acting is a
brother,
bad example.
if you are going like vacation and you're flying across the continent, if you are went on that plane and you heard that this pilot is not a licensed pilot, you still want to go on that plane?
Right.
Yeah, but the man I say Okavongo say because we know say I saw it come to be. Because we know say I saw
No
it
man,
come
not
to be.
talking
We
about
not go travel on a plane
the
without a,
personal,
because many
the
people
personal
can
All
plane,
right.
fly
brother.
plane
This
and
is
don't
what
have
me
a
have to say.
license
This is
same
what me
way.
have to say now as it relates to
But
that,
then
right?
that's
Yeah.
You know,
commercial
but you're
A
talking about
activity.
person,
personal.
That's a commercial
you ask a
activity.
Personal.
question, I'm gonna respond to it. I'm
Right.
gonna
Right.
respond to it, right? Primarily, you're not gonna encounter that because flying a commercial
It's a
plane
commercial
is a
activity.
commercial activity. In order to perform this commercial activity, the requirement is that you have a airplane, a pilot's license,
You have to be
right?
regulated.
So so because it's a commercial, you're not
But
gonna
it's a
encounter
private
that.
plane.
But what I,
Brother.
but
Okay.
what I will respond to, by saying this to suit what you're saying, what you asked me, I will say this: that a person who does not have a pilot's license, as opposed to a person who does have a pilot's license, just the act of having a pilot's license does not mean that the one with the pilot's license is a better pilot than the one without. The licensing only
Brother,
shows that the person is
you have the wrong
regulated to
question now. You have the
perform
wrong
this
question.
commercial activity.
You have the wrong
Understand?
question.
I'm not going on with the question. I already answer you. I said to you said that is an irrelevant question because a person on a commercial plane has to have a pilot's license to fly a commercial plane. But to go down the point at why you dey ask me, I'm saying that because a person has a pilot's license does not mean that a person without a license cannot fly a
I know a
plane.
license. I know a license not fly a
Hold on,
plane.
hold
I
on.
fly the
Did
plane.
you, did you just say a person has not a pilot is captain?
Say again? I did not say that. I said
Yeah, I didn't hear you say that. Come say that.
for a person to fly a commercial plane, we
Plane.
go
You have to have a
bring
pilot.
people from
Yeah, but
one
that's it.
place to
But
another.
no,
Let's say
all
it was
right,
a
no
private,
commercial
it was
plane,
a
just
private
a
plane.
plane. You don't need commercial.
Yeah, a
Just a
It's a
plane.
plane.
private
A
plane.
plane.
Right.
hmm
A
hmm
private
Private
plane.
plane.
All right.
Would you
So
want to
Private
know that
plane.
they have a pilot license
I would
before you
want
go
to
on that
know that
plane?
they are able to fly the
But
plane.
how you don't know?
I'm saying,
No.
same way, oh, you
You
go
go
know them
on
have a
a
license.
private plane and the pilot
Mm-hmm.
on that you, the eye on a private plane. The
Mm-hmm.
pilot now say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I want to tell her that, I really don't have no license. I just fly when I feel like it or I done this
I
a
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
100
vehicles with
times.
flying or what?
Mm-hmm.
You feel good.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Under the license, I fly a
Oh,
plane.
Okay,
okay.
I
Under the
understand what
license,
All
I fly
right.
the plane, brother.
All right.
Under the license.
Yeah.
So what may I say is
Yeah.
this for you? May I ask you a question, right? On the road, the majority of people have a driver's license on the road, right?
See that?
Under the
I
system.
didn't hear you.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
hear you.
Yeah.
Under the system, the majority of people who drive in and operating a vehicle or moving on the road have a driver's license, right? The majority of people.
Like shake up your head,
Majority,
so
yeah.
when you shake up your head, it cut out your voice.
I'm asking a question. The majority of people on the road who moving in a vehicle on the road have a driver's license, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So what I'm saying now, are the majority of people on the road good drivers? Are people you would have comfortably
Yeah.
drive with? They are?
Yeah.
Well,
Why are
majority
there
of
so
people
many
on the road are
accidents?
not
No,
good drivers to
the
me.
majority of people are
Majority of
not
people on the
getting
road are
into
not good drivers to
accidents,
me.
Roots. There's a certain
No.
percentage of the
It is
driving
minority of the
population
minority.
that gets into
Minority of the
accident.
No,
It
but
minority.
we're
is
not
not the
going to
majority
accident. We're
of
not even
people.
go to
But these
accident.
are
That
We're
is
people
not
a
go
with
to
policy.
license.
accident. We not talk about accidents. I'm saying majority of the people who me see drive on the road, in my experience, cannot drive.
Yeah, but that is based on opinion, right?
Our opinion that man.
My opinion, the majority of people do not get into accidents. So let's be clear. There's a certain population
Yeah.
of
Where
drivers
we
who
are that? We know
percentage of
that.
drivers
We
who
know
get
that.
into
We know
accidents.
that.
Yeah. So that means
Yeah.
most people are driving, they understand how to drive.
Yeah.
So
Most
that means to
people
say the
understand how
fear
to
that you
drive.
have. So that means that the fear that you have, right? The fear that you have in terms of flying in a plane with a person who is
That's not
unlicensed.
fear.
Be-
It's not fear.
What is it? What is
No.
it?
We are speaking about if you're driving in every state require you to have a license. Not a fear. We're talking about a requirement based on a privilege. That's what we talk. Not a fear.
No, you are referring to driving on a private plane without a pilot, without a
Yes,
license.
I will be in fear if I am
Right. So
flying
this is
with
what I'm saying.
somebody who tells
Who
me
doesn't have a
that they
license?
do have a license. I.
Even though
Right.
them can't fly, and
Well,
them
I
have
don't know
thousands of
that
hours
because
of
this is
flight.
my first time flying with them.
But you don't know about the
But
pilot
wait,
having license either.
when I go on a commercial plane and this pilot is flying, I have no fear because I know that he has
You
gone
don't
through the
know.
proper. No, well, at least I trust in
The
him
system.
or his ability because
You
I
trust
will
the
sit
system. You
there
trust the
with other
system.
people and not worry about it. But somebody who's telling me they
And
do have
Yaga,
a
if you
license,
don't
I will
know,
not be
if you don't
comfortable.
know, you can find out.
So under normal circumstances, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be comfortable.
So let's say that now for some reason you're in a situation where there's a catastrophe going on or whatever, and the only way you can get out of this place is by means of a plane, right? But there is no licensed pilot there. And somebody is there will say, I've been training to fly, so I can fly, but I'm gonna get my license yet. I fly a lot. I know if I fly, whatever, I'm gonna go fly the plane, we'll go get out
Nah,
of there. Where I say, are you gonna
that is a
go?
cap out question because more than likely that
Yeah.
happened to nobody. So them kind of questions is
No,
like,
I'm saying,
yeah, like
yeah, but
shoot, a star.
hypothetically we're
Nah, yeah,
talking,
saying
right?
that, not that point. That's why I say I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying for you to come
See?
with a
Mm-hmm.
question like that is really a
Mm-hmm.
kind of that's like who shut the door and you know already, right? Who shut the door? I see who shut the door. That's that type of question,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can say if this is your no other means are leaving no route. It
Yeah.
don't work like that.
Cri-
I'm saying to you that
I
is
will
But
not a
say now.
reasonable question.
I'm saying this is a hypothetical
No, it's
question.
not. It's not. And it's
Yeah,
not a
I'm gonna be
reasonable
careful.
question.
The reason why I ask the question, is to
No,
show you, say, the act of doing it and the licensing for doing it are two different
no,
things.
it's not a
And that's
good
why I ask
question.
that question. So you are of the mindset that you're saying that for you to be comfortable, the person have to be
They
licensed.
have to.
And
They
I'm
have to
saying that for
show their
me to be
No.
comfortable,
qualifications.
for
Make
me
we
to be comfortable, me have to confidence that the person can do it. And me would have verified that. In that situation, me
Again,
would have
like
verified for the person,
Ras,
yo.
going back to the
Mm-hmm,
original point, when we talking about
mm-hmm,
our rights being stripped and privileges are two
mm-hmm.
different things. License is a privilege, car is
Rights
a
and
privilege
privileges are two different things, and rights supersede privileges every
every
day.
day. But we not
Every
Every
using
day.
day.
license
So this is why
as
I
Every
tell
day.
us
rights.
it. Say
We're not
again?
using license as a right.
Life is not alright.
What?
Driving a car.
We agree with that. That license is not a right. License is a prerequisite for performing a commercial activity. So if you're performing a commercial activity, that's not a right. So we agree.
All right. You're going. That
Mm-hmm.
you start break up with now you.
Mm-hmm.
Nice conversation.
Watch a video, them man. I'm gonna learn about the
Okay,
free man.
go on, man. They go with them.
I'll watch them too. But Ras,
Yeah.
I said the perfect balance, third class. I don't know, say a truck for the living for this represents. Good over evil, me tell them see a life over death. I swear, said I will never switch. Keep the fire burning out. Holy Manuel I Selassie, Jah, blazing fire.